the hands of the wicked. Who has the earth in their hands? These devils.
I mean, it's just off the charts. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security.
All of a sudden, we got a lot to do. It has a lot to do with national security. Hasn't had nothing to do with national security. None at no other time.
Equipped with the Aegis weapon system. That's what makes these destroyers very unique. And they can reach speeds up to 30 knots, which makes them very swift.
These are wartime vessels patrolling the waters around Venezuela. This is not the Coast Guard. You hear what the man said? He said Navy destroyers. Listen.
Swift and very quick and can maneuver at a moment's notice. Finally, they all carry two LAMPS helicopters. What's that? Those are light airborne multi-purpose systems. They're also known as Seahawks, Sikorsky Seahawks. They can maneuver in very urban areas or overseas, depending on what they need to do. There's also a nuclear-powered submarine that is following along with these. So quite a lot of power, sending quite a strong message to international waters off Venezuela, a message being heeded by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
A nuclear submarine. Same thing.
Toll to 95 since early September. The ACLU and other rights groups have condemned the strikes as murder and state-sanctioned killings of civilians denied due process.
These are acts of war. They trying to provoke a war. You're just blowing up boats in the Caribbean and then claiming that it's something. No evidence at all. You don't even recover no kind of physical evidence that can prove that you justified in these attacks, man. Let's keep watching.
Attacks come as President Trump signed an executive order Monday declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction.
Fentanyl, a weapon of mass destruction. What was Bush saying about Iraq? Weapons of mass destruction. Y'all, this place, America is so goddamn repeated. It's repetitive. It just keeps repeating the same shit. These are going to be the excuses to go to another war. That's why they pull his soldiers out of
Under federal law that authorizes the U.S. government to seize all assets that are, quote, engaged in planning or perpetrating any federal crime of terrorism.
Dude, if you look up the rules according to what privateering is, it'll break down almost identical to what you just heard. Except it'll be speaking of monarchies instead of governments. And they'll be saying they got the right to seize. Hey, don't believe me. Go study, man.
Unquote. This comes as the New York Times reports the oil tanker seized by the U.S. was part of the Venezuelan government's effort to support Cuba. The skipper was reportedly carrying nearly 2 million barrels of Venezuelan oil and was headed to the Cuban port of Matanzas. This is Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel.
Cuba denounces and condemns this return to gunboat diplomacy, this threatening diplomacy, the scandalous theft. One more in the...
That's why they pull his soldiers out of Syria. That's why they bought the biggest aircraft carrier they got out of the Mediterranean and brought it to the Caribbean. That ain't all for nothing. Just like when Russia was building up its military along the border with Ukraine, and then all of a sudden the attack went down. Y'all seen this thing? Y'all seen America about to do the same thing. Only difference is Russia had a legitimate reason to do what they did. America's doing this because they want to go steal.
Bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Virtually no illicit fentanyl comes to the United States from either...
Hey, I'm going to try to find another video of him and his first administration speaking on how we should be going into Venezuela. They have oil there. He literally said that in his other administration. Piracy. But let me dress it up and say it the correct way, because it's a government signed off on it that makes it buccaneering or privateering. Look these words up. No different than when the British monarchy would sanction people like Sir Francis Drake to go out and attack Spanish ships. And he would do it he would basically be a pirate, but he's hired by a government. So that makes him a privateer or a buccaneer. You understand? This is no different. It's just, hey, that's why they don't want y'all to study no past, because they don't want y'all to be able to figure out and see exactly what they're doing, how they're repeating what it's all the same thing, same game.
Judge in November was obtained under federal law that authorizes the U.S. government to seize all assets that are, quote, engaged in planning or perpetrating any federal crime of terrorism.
Dude, if you look up the rules according to what privateering is, it'll break down almost identical to what you just heard.
Meanwhile, the U.S. military commander who oversaw the Pentagon's attacks on boats in the Pacific and the Caribbean, Admiral Alvin Halsey, said he'll retire at the end of the year. The U.S. has provided no evidence backing claims the boats were used for drug trafficking. In Chile,
Y'all heard what she just said, right? He's retiring because he don't want to be a Colin Powell. He don't want to be accused of doing America's dirty work like Colin Powell was accused of doing the dirty work for Iraq. Because they want this, they finna make sure a war goes down with Venezuela. You better know that. If you ain't, all right, I'm gonna attach my other videos. See, I did tell y'all. This video, she can hear the military intelligence speaking on the resources that are in Venezuela, Libya, and Chile. I need to know what's going on in this world around y'all before shit start blowing up. And Americans ain't gonna get it until somebody literally attack the United States and something blows up, somebody get hurt here by a foreign threat, just like ancient Rome. Romans didn't know the wickedness that Rome was in. Well, they knew what wickedness Rome was, but they didn't understand the wickedness that Rome was inflicting on other parts of the world till those people start showing up in Rome. Same in America, Rome and America, same thing.
Death toll to 95 since early September. The ACLU and other rights groups have condemned the strikes as murder. And
period. When y'all tried to ease that little Bay of Pigs, yeah, it was like the incident that kicked off the Vietnam War, the Lake Tongsa incident, wherever that lake was called in Vietnam, the incident that happened. It's kind of like reminds you. It's like I said, it's repetitive. We keep saying the same thing. It's repeating. They keep repeating the same thing. Okay, but the only thing is they would study attacking the Venezuelan ships without cause and never produced no evidence that they had a cause or a right to attack these civilian vessels, man. These weren't military vessels. They couldn't, doing that, they couldn't, look, it's like pushing somebody. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. Bet you ain't gonna do it, like a bully. I keep shoving you. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing, trying to get you to bloody his motherfucking nose. Venezuela didn't go for it. So they just kicked it off anyway. That's how I see it. Situation over there. And they military got those, y'all trained those people. That happened under the first Trump administration too. They tried to send some mercenaries in there to try to tuffle the government. Look it up. This happened. And the military surrounded them immediately, rounded them up right away. It was like Bay of Pigs Part 2. All of this shit is Part 2s. All of it. Y'all gotta study, man, and show thyself approved unto God, a workman who need not be ashamed, righteously divide the words of truth. This stuff it's all happened before. And if you understand anything about the history of politics, the history of international dealings with these different nations, if you understand anything about just the short-term history, Hugo Chavez, Barack Obama, look up their relationship and what the things that happened between them two. The fact that the United States have froze all.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, Venezuela's capital was rocked by explosions. And now, U.S. officials are confirming a major escalation. According to CBS News, U.S. President...
Since Venezuela would not go ahead and attack an American vessel so they could have an excuse to do this, they just said, fuck it, we gonna push the button anyway.
Donald Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, as Washington sharply intensified its campaign against the government of President Nicolas Maduro. Sources tell CBS News the Trump administration is aware of reports of explosions and aircraft over Caracas.
A thief always comes in the night, you know. This is a thief. This is thievery that's really getting ready to go down. You heard what he said. We gonna run. Venezuela. That's what it was all about. See, America is trying to prep its war machine because they know that the BRICS is there. And if Venezuela has the oil and the lithium and the other resources there in South America that they got right next to the America, it is, you don't have to go all the way to the Mediterranean to distill resources because you can't get into Libya, you can't get into Iraq. Despite toppling the governments there like you're trying to do here, the people ain't fucking with you. But South America, Central America, that's different. You know what I'm saying? We can push the bully button a little harder with them. On some real shit, dog, man. You pay attention to watch what you see, man. Pay attention to what you're seeing.
But as of now, there has been no official public comment from the White House. On the ground, the situation appears chaotic. Eyewitness videos and journalist reports describe missile-like strikes, low-flying aircraft, and power outages across parts of the capital. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, issued an urgent warning to the world. He said, "Right now, they are bombing Caracas. They are bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately." The U.S. military...
Look at you and this American puppet. They ain't gonna meet about shit. You know, stop it. Real talk, bro. My man over there, brother in Colombia, you may be next, man, because they got issues with you too. Question is, what resources do Colombia? Well, they got the cocaine. They got the cocaine. It's cocaine. It's cocaine. I understand what I'm saying. So, under those circumstances, maybe that's what's gonna bring him on in there with that. You understand?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
For real. I might bring him in on that. You understand? But the thing about it is, these devils insist on controlling everybody's resources if you are darker people. This goes back to colonial times. This goes back to Pope Nicholas, Pope Alexander. They're papal bulls, giving these devils giving them a so-called authority to do what they did. They continue right now today, even though this is the so-called modern world. This is no different than what the fuck was happening with the conquistadors and all that other shit. You had a bunch of Europeans coming into countries of darker people and destroying and killing and taking their resources. Well, excuse me, destroying and unaliving and taking resources. That's what they was doing. So look, this is what's happening right now, all over again. Like I said, it's a repeat.
Has acknowledged reports of explosions in Caracas, but a Pentagon spokesperson refused to confirm or deny any American involvement, according to the New York Times. Witnesses reported activity at least 6 sites, including areas near Fort Tuna Army Base, La Carota Air Base, the 23 de Enero neighborhood, and in the vicinity of Miraflores Palace, the presidential residence. Venezuelan Defense Minister Diosdado Cabello's home at Fort Tuna Base was reportedly hit by shelling. Meanwhile, unverified footage circulating online shows Venezuelan forces detaining residents near the presidential palace as armored vehicles and tanks reportedly move toward the seat of power. In other videos, still unconfirmed, locals are heard screaming, "The Marines! The Marines have arrived!" Additional footage claims to show American forces storming Venezuelan ports and what appears to be U.S. Air Force strikes on Venezuelan army bases.
I believe that a few minutes before 2 a.m., at least in the part of Caracas where I live, which is downtown Caracas, the electricity went down and immediately explosions and aircraft noise was, I hear that. A few minutes later, I managed to dress up and go outside, and we have been reporting live since that moment.
As the videos spread, Caracas remains tense and the international community scrambling to respond. This would mark the most direct U.S. military action on Venezuelan soil in decades, following months of threats, naval deployments, and strikes tied to alleged drug trafficking networks.
Following months of threats, naval deployments. And, I'm alive. You know the word I really want to use. Y'all know what's really going on with that, man. Nobody's stupid.
This story topping international headlines tonight, from Cuba to Miami to here in Atlanta. Even the nation's capital, demonstrators are rallying across the Americas in response to this attack. Some are celebrating the capture of President Maduro, while others are protesting, chanting "No war on Venezuela." Right now, we've been working in the newsroom to get this live look. We mentioned earlier in the show, this is Santiago, Chile, where crowds have gathered to celebrate the freedom of Venezuela. You can see them waving the country's flag and playing music there. Atlanta News First reporter Justin Berger is live outside Centennial Olympic Park. And Justin, a demonstration here at home has been going on for several hours.
Yeah, they had the same type of propaganda campaign going on with Libya and Gaddafi. Showing that the Libyan people was like celebrating the destruction of their country. Look at Libya now. Under Gaddafi, the people didn't pay no rent. They had no electric bill, free health care, free education. You understand? Everybody had it. You got about money. You got paid to have kids. They put you in a home and shit like that. You could study anywhere in the country you wanted to. You could be flown anywhere in the world. You could be flown anywhere in the world to go to school, or if you need health care, if you need some kind of medical attention that doesn't exist in Libya. But he put hospitals all over there. He helped put a satellite in the sky so Africa could have its own internet. But they played us over here in the United Snakes of Amnesia as though his own people wanted him out of the hell. These people are rebelling. Why the fuck would they rebel against that? These people are the devil the Bible speaks of. Now, devil means liar. But look, right now, these are lies too. You can't trust none of the shit these motherfuckers are saying. On the real.
Hours now.
Yes, Sydney, just ending a few minutes ago, but you can still see quite a large crowd here. At one point, for well over 2 hours, there were at least 100 people here at the corner of Marietta Street and Centennial Olympic Park Drive. I want you to take a look at some of this video from earlier this afternoon. Signs reading "No blood for oil," of course, in response to action taken by the United States military overnight in Venezuela. This rally is organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation here in Atlanta. They're angered at what they call the illegal bombing of Venezuela. Many here upset the Trump administration taking action without congressional approval. A U.S. Army veteran I spoke with says actions of war should always be the last resort.
This is a government making a decision that could plunge an entire region into war without any sort of approval from Congress. There's no representation occurring on our government right now.
Look, just a region, man. The rest of the world is watching, baby. China, they feel some type of way about this. They got relationships with Venezuela and the Central and South American nations, not to mention Caribbean nations. You understand? But I can see the play, because if you're ready to try to planning on trying to take the entire world to war, you're gonna need fuel to supply for your war machine. Venezuela's supposed to have more oil than Saudi Arabia. If you don't have to worry about dealing with the Saudi, you can even cut the Saudis out, and you just got your own access to an oil-rich nation right in your own backyard. This is why in his first administration he said we should be going after Venezuela. He said in his first administration. This is what I said. This is not new. Check out my other videos I did on this. I'm gonna link them to this video. You understand? Watch these other videos. Like, subscribe, share. Put our people up on what's really going on, man. But on some real shit, this is what was already being said. So imagine not only do you got oil here, you got lithium. What you need for all technology, all digital equipment to work, you need lithium. So you got lithium and oil, not to mention fresh water, gold, copper. You need copper for your war machine as well. With access to those kind of resources, those kind of minerals, America can prep itself to take on China and Russia and Iran. Because he's already talking about plans on what he's going to do in Iran and protests to keep it going on there. I thought he said no regime change. I thought he said no more foreign war. This man is a puppet too. He do what he told too. And this is what these devils want. He's a devil too. But that's what this nation is. This nation is run by devils, man. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Straight up and down.
Again, still quite a large crowd here, finishing up a 2-hour protest of United States action taking in Venezuela last night. We did witness over the course of those 2 hours lots of support from passing cars here in one of the busier spots of Atlanta. Live from Centennial Olympic Drive in Atlanta, Justin Berger, Atlanta News First.
A huge crowd. Thank you, Justin.
War protests wrapped up not long ago. They actually ended up marching down 43rd Street, but tensions from the Venezuela strikes still remains high.
Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela!
Hundreds hit Times Square Saturday for an emergency rally yelling, "Hands off Venezuela," for the No War on Venezuela, Stop the Bombing protest. It's a protest over the U.S. strikes that nabbed President Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
And so I think it's really important for us to come out here and strongly show that we oppose this war, that we oppose the American imperialist drive toward war.
Explosions rocked Caracas, and now demonstrators wave signs calling the whole thing illegal.
We have heard from our friends in Venezuela that there are countless dead from this bombing campaign.
It's not about drugs. It's not about democracy. It's not about the last election. It's because the Venezuelan Bolivarian Socialist Project did indeed challenge U.S. domination.
They're pushing to stop any more U.S. moves and let Maduro go. When Trump announced the U.S. will temporarily run Venezuela, it sparked fiery reactions like this one in Times Square, where voices rage against the strikes and demonstrators vow to keep fighting for their cause. And different reactions continue.
This ain't nothing but occupation, baby. Occupation. That's all this is. All over again. Another occupation of another country. We will run Venezuela. It's occupied. Just like when Woodrow Wilson sent the Marines into Haiti, and all the Haiti gold ended up missing some kind of way. These are repeats. This is why they try to take, that's why they're taking all this type of information out of the books. They don't want the newer generation. Man, I was talking to one of my partners at work. He had no idea. It's amazing how this new generation, he's in his 30s. The youngster actually said, man, I know, well, the Jewish people had it way harder than us. You got black people that actually fucking believe that. We had the worst crime against humanity ever in the history of the world committed against us. They can't say that. But they've convinced our people otherwise, because the school systems are controlled. The curriculums are controlled. But yeah, my man said that he said no new wars. The devil was a liar, and it was a murderer from the beginning. They kidnapped another sovereign leader out of his country, just like they did Aristide. Dropped him off at Central Africa, which is, I believe, to this day is a French colony. They tried to do to him what they did to Patrice Lumumba. They snatched him and dropped him in a place they thought would be hostile enough where they would unalive him there. And Aristide would have been dealt with, that would have been done, blah, blah, it's done. Didn't go that way. The president of Central Africa, the Republic of Central Africa, he called the French president, who called George W. Bush. Like, oh, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this? This man just showed up here. They yanked him out of his presidential palace in the middle of the night, dude. Threw him into an unmarked plane. Flew him to Jamaica, refueled, and then flew him and his wife and dropped them off in the Republic of Central Africa. American people, Randall Robinson, I believe, it was American leaders, black leaders. These were real black leaders, not these phony baloney motherfuckers y'all see running around here. Not y'all TD Jakeses and shit. These is real black leaders, like I believe the brother name was Randall Robinson. I'm almost sure that's his name. But they flew over to Central Africa and got Aristide out and got him to South Africa, where they gave him some kind of amnesty. I don't think he ever was returned to he was the democratic elected official. Just like this man, so-called democratically elected official of his country, went in, snatched him out, dropped him off into another foreign country with no kind of reasoning behind it. Surprised they didn't do that to him. I'm surprised they didn't take him and drop him off in Israel or something, because he made some comments about Israel. It didn't go that way. And we get off into the monies and things that the United States done froze that belong to Venezuela and stuff. This place is a real bully, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all for coming in, man. We said this was gonna happen. We spoke on it. On a couple of shows, we said this was gonna happen. And then she ran down the clips. I showed y'all the clips. Them clips come from way back as far as September. Understand? We said America was gonna invade this country. You don't pack out, no. Armies, militaries don't pack out an area like that. They flooded the Caribbean with military personnel. Naval shows of naval strength. The admiral of the operation said he's retiring. He had 2 years. He didn't have to retire yet. I think the man stepped down because he knew they was finna do this fuck shit. He said, no new wars. The devil's a liar, man, on record. Hey man, I appreciate y'all popping in, showing in. Shouts out to my boy Zodown. Shouts out to my big brother Daoud. I see y'all up in here, dog. Love y'all to death, love y'all to life. Hey man. Hey, we don't know what else is finna go on right here. We don't know what else is finna go on right here. Like I said in the other video, Americans don't look at none of this bull, this fuckery. This is wrong on so many levels. There's so many laws of engagement, rules of engagement. World recognized that when the World Court said they wanted Putin, and Putin said he was going to South America, the United States said, South Africa, United States said South Africa needs to arrest them. The World Courts won't they want Netanyahu right now. He was just at Mar-a-Lago with Trump. The fuck out of the hood with that weak shit, man. Hey man, love y'all to death, love y'all to life, man. Hey, just know that this shit is crazy. It's only getting crazier, and the only thing you can do is get yourself ready, man, because chance favors the prepared. Prep yourself for whatever the fuck the worst could possibly be, because we don't know what these motherfuckers. I don't think the whole world finna just sit there and watch this shit. All these other nations are already speaking out against it, man. We don't know. We ain't gonna know till we know. The Romans didn't know till they seen Hannibal show up all of a sudden. From a whole backdoor entrance to Rome. Brought Rome to his knees too. Should have sacked it, should have burned it to the ground. But that's not what prophecy said was going to happen. Hey man, until next time, man, you've been here with your boy Bam Bam Belly Young. Wanna watch Three Sons, man. Represent Eastside all because Eastside is ours. Love y'all to death, love y'all to life. Because we live and die, because we die to live again. 360 degrees. If you can comprehend. Shouts out to the Grand Verbalizer, fucking lesson, brother Jay. Hey man, this shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy, but we called it. We didn't call it. Until next time, man, later.